That's called pain. That's not called, oh, I tweaked it. Shit. That's called, damn, I felt something that I definitely did not like.
Phenom collapsed against the basket. Stanchion, her head bowed, hands gripping the inside of her right thigh. Fog, heavy and unmistakable. You could feel it in the crowd's silence, see it etched across Caitlin Clark's face with every possession, and hear it in the eerie stillness that swept through TD Garden when the rookie Phenom collapsed against the basket. Stanchion, her head bowed, hands gripping the inside of her right thigh.
Well, this game had a little bit of everything, but if I had one word to describe all of it, it would be painful.
One moment, Caitlin Clark was dishing a perfect backdoor bounce pass to Kelsey Mitchell, pure, vintage Clark brilliance. The next, it looked like the weight of the entire league had ripped straight through her groin. If you didn't catch it live, imagine this. About 40 seconds left on the clock. Fever clinging to a 5-point lead, Connecticut pressing hard. Clark plants her foot, steps back, pivots to fire the assist, and immediately grimaces, hand flying to her inner thigh. She tries to play it off, limping, forcing a poker face, but the pain is sharp and unforgiving. The moment matters too much. By the time she reaches the bench, a towel is draped over her head, her shoulders shaking, and the tears aren't frustration. They're the kind that signal something is deeply, dangerously wrong. For just a second, the most electric player in the game doesn't look like a superstar. She looks like a college kid who just realized finals are tomorrow, and she never opened the book.
Bro, she looked like, bro, she was in tears. She was in tears, y'all. Like, in tears. Like, it's like she knows that this is a real serious thing, man. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks.
Had been dealing.
She's in tears, bro. She's crying.
Groin injury.
Now, let's rewind. Because this isn't just some random twinge, it's the latest chapter in what's turning into a season-long game of medical whack-a-mole. It started with a quad tweak in the preseason. They rushed her back for that Iowa exhibition because, let's be honest, Iowa was non-negotiable. Then came the left groin strain that sidelined her for 5 games in June. After that, it was minute restrictions, inconsistent rotations, and a start-stop rhythm that would rattle even the most dialed-in shooter. And now, barely 5 games back, it's the other groin that gives out. That's not bad luck, that's textbook overcompensation. Ask any athletic trainer. If you don't give soft tissue the rest.
What the hell did you guys do with Caitlin Clark? Make up your mind. Play her or don't play her. She's healthy or she's not healthy. She's ready or she's not ready to go. Clearly, she's not ready to go. And if it's a different groin, right? If it was one groin and now it's her other groin, well, overcompensation is a real thing, folks.
Let's be honest. Stephanie White's seat just got hotter than an Indianapolis sidewalk in mid-July. The Fever head coach has been yanking Caitlin Clark in and out of games like a yo-yo, sometimes right after she finally sees one fall. The kind of shot she's been chasing for a quarter. But shooters thrive on rhythm. And muscles, groins, hamstrings, calves, the whole kinetic chain, thrive on staying warm. When you sit a player every 3 minutes, you're practically inviting injury. Might as well stencil "please re-injure me" across their hips. White keeps insisting there's a plan. But at this point,
Stephanie White, congratulations. Amber Cox, way to go. Kelly Krauskopf, you did it, girl. You really did it. These 3 individuals, whether it's coaching malpractice, GM malpractice, somebody who's never gotten injured ever in their career. Here comes all these, oh, we got a new coaching staff, we got a new training staff, we got this person and that person, an expert here and an expert there, saying this, saying that. Next thing you know, these people have managed to turn Caitlin Clark into a player who now gets injured and injured and injured.
The fantasy that her game doesn't scale. It's a brutal numbers game, and the math isn't pretty. 2 5-game absences, a 3-point stat line in freefall, just won 432 on the road before last night's loan make, and now, she's a walking economic engine. She moves merch, sells out road arenas, and pushes national TV ratings into uncharted territory. Every minute she's in street clothes costs buzz, revenue, and leverage, especially for rivals like the Liberty and Suns. Or critics, still clinging to the fantasy that her game doesn't scale. It's a brutal numbers game, and the math isn't pretty. 2 5-game absences, a 3-point stat line in freefall, just won 432.
I got to tell you, I can't see her playing tomorrow. I cannot imagine her playing doing the 3-point contest or being in the All-Star game now.
Barring a medical miracle, and groin strains are anything but miraculous. Caitlin Clark will almost certainly miss tonight's showdown with New York. The Liberty bullied her in the paint the first time around, and Sabrina Ionescu will smell blood in a rematch. even if the scan says low grade. The smart move is to shut her down until those fibers fully heal. But smart hasn't exactly been Indiana's playbook. They rushed her back from the quad injury just to let her wave at Camp Day Kids. They cleared her for the Seattle game with 40 seconds on the clock, chasing vibes, not safety. And just hours before last night's injury, they announced her entry into the three-point contest, practically daring fate to swing the hammer.
Stephanie White and her brilliance. Oh, there's only 40 seconds left in the Seattle Storm game. Sweet. Kaylin, get in there. Oh, now we injure our groin. Oh, great job. You guys are really crushing it this year.
The entire WNBA world is converging on Indianapolis this weekend, and the stage was set for Caitlin Clark to be its centerpiece. Banners line every streetlight, pop-up merch trucks are wrapped around the convention center, and a fan vote made Clark an all-star captain in her rookie season. She was scheduled for the three-point shootout on Friday, the skills relay on Saturday, and the headline, Wilson versus Clark, Super Team Showdown on Sunday. Hotels are sold out, flights booked, and resale ticket prices skyrocketed the moment her name hit the ballot. Super Bowl-level demand for a mid-season showcase. Now imagine the star of the show limping to the podium in sweats and a walking boot or not showing up at all. TV partners lose the casual viewers. Local businesses miss out on the revenue boost they desperately counted on after 2 sluggish summers. And the W loses a highlight reel weekend that could have gone viral from TikTok to Times Square. One ESPN executive confided off-camera last month that Clark's second injury tanked ratings by 55%. That was an exaggeration, it was a Nielsen bloodbath. If she's a scratch this weekend, the league's feel-good celebration turns into a national press conference on load management.
I'm just going to say that right now. I hope this isn't serious. But the way those 3 ladies, Stephanie, Amber, and Kelly, have mismanaged the biggest superstar this league has ever seen, has mismanaged a generational talent like Caitlin Clark. Somebody needs to ask them the tough questions.
Help, but none more than the one thing the Fever haven't given her, time. Clark played just 5 games between groin strains. That's not rehab, that's patching potholes in a hailstorm and hoping the road holds. Or even called the standard 2 weeks of rest timeline nothing more than optimistic. Marketing, sure, there are treatments, stem cell injections, platelet-rich plasma, underwater treadmills, take your pick from the buzzword buffet. They help, but none more than the one thing the Fever haven't given her, time. Clark played just 5 games between groin strains. That's not rehab, that's bad.
And then Stephanie White gets asked about it. Stephanie White on Caitlin Clark. No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there. Stephanie White, you are a liar.
Fiasco, she snapped at a ref, not just frustration, but full-on barking. That's not leadership. That's immaturity. Grow up. Then her brother Colin jumped on social media to blame the officials. Poses for every selfie, carries the promotional weight of half the league, and genuinely seems to love it, but that same superstar charisma can trick you into believing you owe everyone a performance, even when your body is screaming to sit down. After last night's whistle fiasco, she snapped at a ref, not just frustration, but full-on barking. That's not leadership. That's immaturity. Grow up. Then her brother...
What's worse than the injury is the refs, dog. Like, the refs are terrible. Y'all play a part in these injuries. Y'all play a part in all of these injuries. Y'all don't call nothing. Y'all don't call nothing, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like, all of y'all should be fired.
Now layer in a sports psychologist offering constant mental cues, a nutritionist fine-tuning every macro, and a training staff trying to balance sky-high public expectations with behind-the-scenes medical realities. And you've got a 23 who barely has room to breathe, let alone heal. People forget, Michael Jordan sat most of his sophomore year with a broken foot. Steph Curry spent 3 seasons as an ankle sprain punchline before Golden State finally paused long enough to rebuild. His foundation, sometimes,
body check. Look at this. Sophie Cunningham dropped.
Loving that base.
She just gets body checked out of bounds. No calls. None. Like, what are y'all, like, where do y'all find these bums at? Like, what?
Clark on that possession.
Just gets elbow to the face. No calls. None. Like, are these like Stevie Wonder could see these fouls, man? Look at this.
Definitely some jockeying for position.
He got punched in the face. Punched in the face. Like Kathy Engelberg. You idiot. Can you not see what's going on?
Sure, but she got punched in the face. Punched. Like this is the WWE, not the WNBA. And Kathy Engelbert, you watching? This open your eyes. This is your league. Wake up. Thing. Like seriously, where do they even find these refs? What is that possession? She gets clocked in the jaw, and everyone just pretends it's fine. Stevie Wonder could have seen that foul. Man, there's jostling. Sure, but she got punched in the face. Punched. Like this is the WWE, not the WNBA. And Kathy Engelbert, you watching?
Let her actually recover from whatever injury it is, whether it's the quad that still hasn't healed because you fools have rushed her back and it hasn't even been able to heal yet, whether it's her groin because you fools rushed her back, it hasn't been able to heal yet. Whatever injury Stephanie White wants to lie to us and say it is, just rest her from it.
So what now? Shut her down, at least through the Olympic break. The calendar just handed Indiana a gift. After All-Star Weekend, there's a 2-week pause. If Caitlin Clark skips the Liberty game, withdraws from the festivities, and actually uses the downtime, you're looking at about 4 weeks between last night's strain and her next meaningful minute. That's the bare minimum timeline for a mild groin pull to properly heal. Pick a rotation and stick to it. Either she's on a minutes cap or she's not. Either she's your starting point guard or she's sitting. Enough with the musical chairs. That turn every dead ball into a cold muscle disaster waiting to happen. In the meantime, hand the keys to Aaliyah Boston. Indiana drafted a generational post for a reason. Now's the time to let the offense flow through her. Elbow touches, inside-out reads, let her cook. It lowers Clark's usage when she returns and forces the rest of the roster to develop real chemistry without leaning on one star. And while you're at it, start lobbying the league for officiating consistency. Physicality is part of the game, but headshots and hip checks masquerading as toughness, that's negligence. When refs swallow the whistle, start.
In fact, if Stephanie White keeps doing this to Caitlin Clark, she's going to ask for a trade. Eventually. There's no way around it. You can tell she's unhappy. It's not, whatever it is Stephanie White is doing is not working.
Assuming last night wasn't season-ending, and there's no indication it was, we're still looking at a rookie campaign that's starting to resemble the early years of Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving, or Zion Williamson. Dazzling flashes, dimmed by rehab stints. The difference, Clark's injuries aren't catastrophic. They're not ACLs or Lisp franks. They're cumulative nagging tweaks that build up when rest and recovery are sacrificed at the altar of urgency. And that makes them avoidable. That's the part that should haunt the Fever front office. They don't just owe it to Clark, they owe it to themselves, and to a league powered by the gravity she brings to slow down. Now, so they're not slamming the brakes later when it really counts. Yes. Indiana 185-77. Natasha Howard logged a double. Kelsey Mitchell dropped 20. The bench held a lead for once, but in the postgame tunnel, none of that mattered. Reporters didn't ask about playoff seeding. They asked whether Caitlin Clark could tie her own shoes without wincing. Stephanie White's response, no update. We'll evaluate and see, echoed like a warning siren through the hallway. So here we are. All-star banners flapping, merch lines wrapped around corners, cameras ready to roll, and the main event. I might be watching from a padded seat behind the stanchion instead of pulling up from 30 feet. It hurts, but maybe that pain is the alarm. Clock Indiana's front office has been sleeping through. It's time to garage the Ferrari. Change the oil, let the engine cool, and don't hand back the keys until the motor hums, not just because the sponsor banners say it's showtime. Because if they don't, the next time Clark grabs at that groin, it might not be a tweak. It might be the moment the fairy tale breaks down for good. Take the hint. Indy, the future of your franchise and a big chunk of the league's momentum depends